Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, Greg's Restorations. Today we are here with a 1989 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ62 that we did a full frame-off restoration on. I would say this project took about 3 years to do, 2,500 and 3,000 hours, just due to the amount of rust damage and mice damage it had.
Hi, my name's Charlie. I've been here at Greg's Restorations for just over 5 years now. One of the issues we have a lot of times when we start projects like this is condition of the vehicle. Windows were stuck down, a lot of the stuff wasn't working, HVAC components weren't working, we had problems in the engine bay, problems with four-wheel drive not functioning properly, brakes not working. There's a lot of time involved just when we take the vehicle in, trying to get it running, trying to see what's going on. As we take things apart, we want to find out what needs to be repaired, what's working, what isn't. So as we go through the process, we already have a knowledge of that.
This vehicle had about 172,000 miles on it. It's lived in New England its whole life, up here in the Northeast. It's a very damp and wet area. This car was driven in the winter. It was kind of stored in a outside storage shed, garage. So when it came in, it had a very odor of mice. These Land Cruisers are a good home for mice. They love them. There's tons of pockets and little crevices for them to get into, and they made a mess of it.
So that means the interior was damaged, the seats were soaked with urine and feces, the headliner was soaked with urine and feces, a lot of the wiring had been chewed. So taking it all apart, as far as pulling out the interior, we typically do the mechanical stuff first, get the body off, that kind of thing, and then we'll tear into the interior. But because of the condition of this vehicle and how bad it was, that was the first thing we started with, and it was disgusting. I mean, we were wearing masks, we were wearing gloves, we were wearing suits. It was everywhere. It was up in the headliner, it was in the metal channels, it was in the pillars of the doors, it was down in the doors. So it really caused a major problem with disassembly. Also caused a lot of our rot problems. That urine and everything had dripped down inside the channels and gotten down to the edges of the panels, so that all started to rot. We had nests built up inside of all our rear fender wells, so a lot of the damage was caused by the infestation of the mice.
It was a huge undertaking. We try to order all the parts right up front for these vehicles, so a year into this project we go to order something and it's either discontinued or it's back ordered. So that's why our evaluation process gets everything ordered up front. We disassemble it. We take, oh God, thousands of photos for this vehicle. I think there are over 2,500 photos of this project in the disassembly process and assembly process. We just try to document everything the best we can, along with doing our video work. It just helps us with putting these puzzles back together. These Land Cruisers are really hard to restore versus like a traditional FJ40. They have double, if not triple, the amount of parts, which is why they cost so much to do, because they're twice the amount of time to restore, and they're a modern vehicle. They have all the modern features, and they're really complicated. With doing like the body and stuff like that, nobody makes really any good, full reproduction panels, so you have to fix everything that's there. We have noticed from buying used rust-free panels, the stamping is slightly different, so we try to use the original stuff because everything lines up. If you're ever going to restore your own vehicle, the best advice I ever have for anybody is documentation, taking as many photos of anything as possible, and labeling and bagging all of the components. When you try to find something to assemble, everything is labeled and in bags. As you can see, like on our part shelves, you can see everything hanging labeled, where it goes. It just makes the assembly and restoration so much easier.
As expected with any vehicle of this age, stuff does not come apart easily. We spend a lot of time during disassembly to do so without breaking or damaging anything. Unfortunately, as we all know, anybody who's done this trade, you know stuff sometimes just doesn't come apart. So when those happen, that's the time that we address broken bolts, things like that, if we need to weld new things in. Because at that point, the vehicles, we're starting to strip everything down. It's before it gets sandblasted, it's before it gets repaired. So when it does go out for sandblast, it comes back for paint, this chassis is ready to go.
Once we get the body off of the frame, you could see the amount of rust in the rear of this vehicle. We had to do some major frame repair in the rear cross member. I still have flashbacks of the amount of rust on this. This probably should have had a frame put in it, but it is the original frame in this vehicle, so we restored it, and it is better than new.
Every project has different parts that you're excited about doing. Some of them, it's taking everything apart. It's getting it all torn down, and then for others, it'll be just when you're completed, when it's finally done. But I graduated high school the year this truck was made, and I remember seeing these things the summer of my senior year and thinking, man, I want one of those one day, Never thought I'd be working on them, never thought I'd be restoring one. But once it was all apart, and once I saw that frame come out of the spray booth, black, shiny, I was like, I cannot wait to put this thing back together. As a kid, probably a lot of you guys, girls, we built models, right? Model cars, stuff like that. This is almost the same thing, because we're taking all these pieces that we've repaired, had redone, repainted, we're laying them out, we're taking pictures of them, and then you start with that bare frame. You put the suspension components on, we put tires on.
This vehicle is sporting a 2-inch Old Man Emu suspension lift. These suspension kits ride better than new, and it gives it the appropriate ride stance that everybody's looking for. We did go with a set of Toyo Open Country ATs. They are a 31-inch all-terrain. We were able to get a reproduction brake line and fuel line kit from our friends over at Inline Tube. They came in stainless steel, and they were virtually a 100% exact match as the originals, so they're able to just bolt right in. Awesome product, and want to give them a huge shout out for that. One of the cool features about this build is we were able to locate a NOS new old stock Toyota engine. It was a short block we got from our friends up at Cruiser Parts. What was awesome about it is it's brand new. It was brand new in the crate, and we just restored the upper part of the engine, the head, and all the intake and everything like that, and was able to use this and have a brand new engine. It still has the factory automatic transmission with it as well that we had restored. I want to touch base on the exterior of this vehicle. Everything is to factory spec. It did have a lot of rust repair. We had to do rocker panels, inner and outer rocker panels. We had to do lower quarter panels. We had to do major door repair. We had to fix the original fenders. We had to fix the hood. I think we had to fix the roof. The mice got into everything. And being a New England vehicle, it was, it was kicking off with that as well. But we were able to fix everything and restore this the best we can. We did go back to the factory paint code. The factory paint code is 4G8. We use everything from our friends over at Sherwin-Williams Automotive. It came out amazing.
Next phase is we're going to set that body down on top of it, right? So we put the two back together, and then comes the other side of the process where we're finishing up the engine bay. When we do a lot of this stuff where some of the vehicles we're dealing with, like this one, early fuel injection. So it had a lot of emissions components and things like that. We try to keep those all functioning. The vehicle is designed to run with those, and it just functions better when everything is working the way it's supposed to. Fortunately, a lot of those aren't available anymore, a lot of the switches, solenoids, that kind of stuff. So we spent a little bit of time figuring out what modern equivalents from Toyota we can use to make them function essentially the same way. If we can't, a lot of what we're doing, we're using other parts available, or we're using good used that we can restore. so that when we're done, it looks exactly like it did when it rolled out of the factory. Everything's redone, restored. The only thing that we pretty much use original is the wiring harness. And even at that, we'll go through, we'll clean all the contacts, we'll check it all, we'll make sure there's no repair, no damage to anything. We'll test it all, make sure everything's functioning. Once that's back in, then we start reassembling the vehicle. So we'll put the dash back in. And we spend just as much time with the interior as we do with the rest of the vehicle. And even in our projects, a lot of what we do and where our time is spent, stuff that most people are never going to see. You're never going to see what's behind the dashboard. But for us, when we do it, we know that it's done right. We know that if we ever need to go back in there for some reason, a lot of times we'll do our restorations, we'll leave the existing radio in, stuff like that, and then the customer will come back a little while later and say, you know what, I really want that backup camera you were talking about. I really want that updated stereo system. I want it, I want the display. I want it to link with my phone. So then we're going back in and adding those features, but because we've already spent the time, laid everything out the way we should have. A lot of times we'll have pigtails laid aside so that we can just tie right in. So all that we're doing, we're planning for future modifications and additions that we can do to our projects. We understand that the reason customers are bringing their vehicles to us is because of the quality, the commitment, and the passion that we have. So the best part of the project, the one that keeps you going every day, even when some things aren't working out, you're like, I know I cannot wait to see this person's face when we come in and we turn the lights on for the first time and they get to see this thing completed.
One of the things that the customers highlighted on is they wanted to try to keep this vehicle as stock as possible. So for the interior of this vehicle, it is 100% stock. We actually put back in the original sound system in it. They had a touchscreen radio in it, and we took that out and restored the factory radio and put that back in. We put some upgraded speakers in it as well, and the seats were fully restored back to factory spec. We were able to get the seat fabric from SMS. They reproduce some interior fabrics for these vehicles, and we're able to get the original fabric. It's awesome. We were able to get a OEM dash pad from the dealer. The dealer still makes the OEM dash pads. For the 60 series, they do not. One of the hard things about the interior restorations is nobody reproduces a FJ62 window motor yet. So we had to clean and reuse the original window motors. So it's the only big challenge for the interior. We also did restore all the original plastics. Our friends over at Seatbelt Planet helped us restore the seatbelts. It's all brand new OEM weather stripping, factory carpet. Pretty cool.
This vehicle's been taken apart for a couple of years now. So when you do power it back up, it doesn't always run the way you expect it to. The carbureted ones, man, you can pump it twice, set the choke, turn the key, and that thing is just purring. With these older fuel injected, the computer has to relearn. Now you've got all brand new stuff. So it takes a little bit of time. They don't like to run so good when you first start them up. And there's always a little bit of tweaking that we have to do with that because a lot of the components are adjustable.
Everything for this vehicle, we got as much as we could from the dealer. Toyota is starting to reproduce a lot of the original parts. All the trim, all the emblems, the bumpers front and rear, door handles, weather stripping, window weather stripping, underhood liner, everything that we could possibly get from the dealer, we did. And then, either we restored the original stuff or we sourced a few aftermarket parts as well.
A lot of times these are vehicles, this isn't something they just bought. This is something that's been in the family for years. If you happen to see our Sequoia video from a few years ago, that family bought that new. All 3 daughters learned to drive in that vehicle. And they looked at buying something new, but it had memories. It had family, right? And so that's the best part is when these people see this vehicle that they've brought the kids home from the hospital in, or that the kids learned to drive in, and it's better than it was the day they bought it. So that's kind of a cool thing to see, and to see somebody's face and see them staring at it going, I can't believe this. This thing is amazing. When they're looking at a vehicle that's over 30 years old and it looks like it just rolled out of the showroom. So it's kind of what makes us want to do this every day.